Old neon signs are most often neon or argon gas in a vacuum tube. The smaller the diameter of the tube, the more intense the light produced and the higher the voltage required to illuminate it. Although neon is thought of as American-made, it was a French inventor named George Claude who in 1910 produced the first neon light in France. He discovered that passing electrical current through an inert gas produced light. A gas tube filled with neon gas glowed a fiery red when charged with electricity. Soon after, he discovered that mixing other gases with neon would produce different colors of light, and the tubes could be twisted and shaped to make letters and pictures. George Claude displayed the first neon to the public on December 11, 1910 at the Grand Palais. Shortly after, a giant white Cinzano advertisement was illuminating Paris. His invention was patented in 1915, and for 20 years his family maintained a monopoly on the process. Neon became extremely popular throughout Europe in the 1920s. Neon didn't arrive in America until 1923, when Earl C. Anthony purchased 2 signs from George Claude's company Claude Neon after visiting Paris. He was so excited about what he saw that he ordered 2 signs on the spot to spell out Packard in blue letters with orange edging. He spent $24,000 on them, a small fortune for those times, and installed them in his Los Angeles car dealership. Visible even in daylight, people would just stop and stare in fascination at these first signs dubbed liquid fire. It is said that one of the original Packard signs still glows in the dark of night. In the early years, neon did what it was supposed to, attract so much attention it stopped traffic and people dead in their tracks. The benefits of neon as a form of advertising was so undeniable it was everywhere in no time and quickly became an integral part of the American landscape. Neon took off with the 1933 repeal of Prohibition, which created a real need for eye-catching signs above bars. In the 30s and 40s, neon became synonymous with Art Deco. By the 1950s, neon was everywhere, lighting up diners, drive-ins, theater marquees, nightclubs, and even Sin City itself, Las Vegas. Neon became the light of the American dream. By the end of the 50s, many of the old neon craftsmen were retiring, and the industry couldn't keep up with the demand. So by the 60s, other forms of signage became popular, like plastic and fluorescent signs. Suddenly, neon faded across the country. During the next 10 years, neon sign making almost became a lost art. Neon can last for decades, can be repaired and recharged, is much brighter and appealing to the eye, and can be bent to any shape, so the demand for it stayed strong. In the early 70s, a new breed of neon makers emerged and expanded the realm of neon into the world of art, and neon rose again. Neon sign makers are in greater demand now than at any time since the 1950s. Today, the manufacturing process remains basically the same. Each tube is handmade. They are partially cut to the needed length while cold with a sharpened file and snapped apart while hot. It is then heated to a pliable state by fire, bent to shape, blown out, laid on a heat-proof pattern for final adjustments before it cools and becomes hard again. All work on neon signs must be in reverse because all the plugs and electrical connections are in the back. When the sign is completed, gas is pumped into the tubing, then electrified, and voila! An illuminated work of art is born. The first 4 colors of neon to be discovered were blue, white, gold, and red. Today, there are more than 150 colors that can be produced by varying not only the gas filling, but also the coating inside the tube and the tube material itself. With all those colors to pick from, good old red and blue still remain favorites. Nothing catches the eye like neon. It can turn night into day and has been the most effective medium for signs all over the world ever since its inception. It continues to fascinate and attract, as it always has. Even though neon is more popular now than ever before, these classic works of art are part of an American history that's disappearing at an alarming rate. So next time you're driving in the dead of night, stop and take the time to look up at the beauty of the lights. I'll guarantee you'll be hypnotized by their inviting glow, and if you listen real closely, you hear that the signs have a language all their own.